Ted, episode 75.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Joel Petonio. Joel Petonio, Joe Green, Howie Long, Jonathan Ogden, and the ever-famous Deacon Jones. Yes.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Celebrating episode 75, Two Middle-Aged Men in Cleveland. The star of Cleveland Heights, Ted Klopp, and yours truly, Ken Dorkowitz.
Go with that. Sure.
Ted, busy week last week. Obviously, besides kids' events wrapping up, cross country and soccer, we also celebrated Cleveland Beer Week. So I did partake in a few festivities.
Yeah.
Highlights. You
remember them?
In the wrestling roundup that we have. You get in the ring with Steve Mulhaus. I have a good story during that.
Oh, I can't wait.
I actually attended the same place twice, but I must give them kudos because it's just an outstanding place. The Buckeye Beer Engine in Lakewood. They had stout night twice, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah. Do you remember stout night?
I do. Parts, pieces, a couple items. I know who I was there with, my cousin, and then Ewan was there. And then, and I do remember coming home, and it was great. It was a good time.
Does are Eowyn's memories as vivid as yours?
Much better. Yes.
Okay.
Much better. She, geez, Louis, I kind of feel bad. So here I am going to Stout Week. I then went to Medina and went to Sully's for this Irish wake that they have. So I did that on Sunday. Where's Eowyn at?
Working.
She's at St. Bernadette's working a retreat. I mean, talk about getting humbled real quick. Geez Louise. Here she's, praying for everybody and doing this thing and having these great talks. And I'm out slinging beers. That's
Mary full of grace. Let me get into the parking space. Right?
Hey, I had a chance to check out our alma mater this past weekend too.
Yeah.
Ashland University.
Ashland. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Tell me about that.
Took that in homecoming festivities at a Hall of Fame banquet, which was awesome, where you would know two of these names. Bill Gallagher, who coached track and cross country at Ashland for quite a long time. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame. And Sue Ramsey. So both gave excellent speeches, and there was a host of others there as well. Maria Manzo, who played soccer there. You might have covered her when she was at the school, from what I remember, when you were working for TV 68. And then Jerry White, who has done the book now and has worked the clock at football. I think it's got to be like 30 years. So he received the Eagle Forever Award. It was cool. There was a lot of Robin Freilich was there, who's now coaching at Bowling Green University. Her husband. It was great to see them. And it's just a host of others. Sheila Goulas. So it was cool. I had a really nice time. And then Ted, I had to get back on the mic. And do some PA announcing.
How'd that go?
It went well. It's been a long time since I've done that. And so I wasn't nervous. The only time I was nervous was actually one time. So the Olympic gold medalist, Katie Najat, was there. And I'm thinking, of all the names to screw up, don't screw that name up. Yeah. So I think I said it on the way in the car like 25 times. So obviously I was good to go. But Steve Paramore, who usually does the PA announcing, whose daughter was at the state championship golf match. I think he does this to me every year on purpose. I always end up with homecoming, which is reading all the homecoming court, which you read for like 15 or 20 minutes. So Steve, who does listen, hats off. I did the best that I could. I don't have your wonderful vocal tones, but I felt spoiled. I had two spotters that game, Ted. Have you ever had two spotters? Two spotters.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Seriously. It was, I was a little embarrassed. If I didn't see what was going on, I had two people watching for me.
Were their names Maddie and Riley?
No. Very nice gentleman who's comes from the high school, just kind of helps out. And then the regular person who sits there and tells me when to read this, that, or the other. So between the two of them, it was pretty easy. Yeah, you would have really flourished above and beyond what I did.
Okay. All right. Well, Ken, coming up on this show, we have some good news about a missing wallet. We have some Klopp's clips, which, boy, we got a lot of Klopp's clips. Some interesting things going on.
Good.
Some spooky things and the like. We have a couple overachievers to talk about. We're going to get in the ring with Steve Mulhaus, and we might have some other frightening things. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. All that and more on this week's show.
And now, a woman's perspective. What do you instantly know about a well-dressed man? His wife is good at picking out clothes.
This has been A Woman's Perspective.
Ted, we have some good news.
Good.
Chris Person, who's not related to Chuck Person of Florida, lost his wallet outside of public store. Oh, wow, that's sad. Have you lost your wallet? That's never fun.
That's never fun. Yeah, I've lost my wallet once or twice.
Well, he searched the area multiple times, and his 72-year-old mother looked to before checking surveillance footage with the store manager. No luck. The wallet had his driver's license, COVID vaccination card, credit cards, plenty of cash, and even a gift card that could easily be redeemed by anyone.
Oh boy.
Well, the next day, 3 strangers showed up at his door. 15-year-old Lucas Perry had found the wallet. He, along with his father and sister, drove to Chris's house to personally return the wallet. Wow. Everything, including more than $100 in cash, was still in the wallet.
Wow.
Chris offered to let them keep the cash as a thank you, but they refused. Wow, that is, talk about being good Samaritans, man. I mean, that exemplifies that. That is just outstanding.
You don't just get the wallet back, you get it hand delivered to your house.
That is impressive, because God knows at this point in time, I think many people would say, wow, look at the freebie I got here.
Yeah, right.
Very cool.
Here's my stimulus payment.
Have you ever found a wallet yourself?
Not that I can recall off the top of my head.
I have one time and did return it, but it was like one of those things that just fell out of the pocket of the person, and I could tell that they were kind of looking around, and I saw it and I picked up and gave it to them. But I never drove to somebody's house or had that situation do that. But boy, everybody can certainly learn from that young man and what him and his sister did. That's great stuff. And that is some really good news.
Time to get in the ring again. Steve Mulhausen from DAZN, DAZN, back with us. Welcome back, sir. It's been a little bit of time. And
oh, man.
Yeah, I believe Ken, I want to start with, Ken, you have a wrestling related story that you felt was we needed to share here?
Yeah, I have a couple of things Steve would enjoy. First of all, I'm wearing my wrestling shirt. Obviously, we'll have to take a picture of this and put it on Twitter. It's something I got from my brother. It's supposed to be for my birthday, but it was a pre-gift. So I guess everybody remembers like the wrestling figures, the original from the WWF time, not WWE, where it's like Big John Studd and all that. So this shirt, which I believe was made in China, that's okay though, it's got the Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. It's all the figurines that were in those series. So it's awesome. So I thought I'd every time we have a segment, I figured I'd wear that just to get us in the wrestling movie.
All right.
That is one of God's greatest inventions.
I think Steve, my glass is just melted, but I'm not sure.
My Steve, God, if I could find this or find out where it's at, I will send you one. I promise.
Oh, let me know.
I promise.
Because that's a one of a kind.
I've never seen a shirt like this. No,
I never have either. You know, that brother of yours. He's worth keeping. Just for that right there.
Yes, he is. He's a good man. We've had him on the show before. Okay. I mean, there's other things we say outside of the show about him, but that's okay. But on the show, he's a great guy. Really cool.
Yeah. Right.
So my story for you and Ted is last week. This seems to go hand in hand. It was Cleveland Beer Week. Okay. So myself and my fiance went out to a couple places, one of which I can use the name of the place because it's the coolest thing I've ever seen. A place called Iggy's, which is on Madison Avenue and is in Lakewood, which is not far from where you stayed, Steve, when you were here in Cleveland. Okay. So we went there because they had some really good stouts and a special brewery there, and it was cool. They don't have food or anything like that, but it's a cool place, pool tables and TVs and all that. So they had a bunch of different sports going on, but this was Wrestling Wednesday there, Steve. Wrestling Wednesday, where on the TV, they show the WWE network, and then they show the AEW event that night. There was a good amount of people there.
Yeah.
Now, this gets better. They have specials for Wrestling Wednesday. You can get the Stone Cold Stunner, which is 2 Coors Lights. Okay. You can get the Jake the Snake Roberts Snake Bite.
Okay.
That was the drink they had. The Rey Mysterio, they call it the 619, but it's actually 614 because they serve 614 lager and then a tequila with it. Okay. And then finally, the best one there was the Rock Bottom. You can get a Rolling Rock and Schlebo. I won't
Oh,
give the
my-
prices out because they're extremely low and people are like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. But I thought you'd get the biggest kick out of it. So if you are ever in Cleveland again, you need to write down Iggy's in Lakewood and go to Wrestling Wednesday because you'll have a blast.
Wrestling Wednesday. Okay.
Wrestling. But the only one I don't like is the Rock Bottom because Rolling Rock is not that good of beer.
Yeah, I get it, but I think they were trying to find a connection with the old rock. You know what
True,
I mean? Which
true.
is cool. I've never seen anything like this, and I sat there, and my fiance looked at me, and she's like, "You actually like this, don't you?" I said, "I actually do. This is pretty cool." So it was pretty cool.
Now,
Did she have any other feedback about Wrestling Wednesday?
that's my question.
No, that was it. That's all she had. I mean, obviously feedback about myself, but not about wrestling. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But it was cool.
Now-
And the match we watched was the match between Shane McMahon and The Undertaker. I don't, you guys would know better than I can't remember what that event. What's
that
that?
was at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
What-
Yeah,
The
and they were in a
WrestleMania.
cage. So
Yeah, the Hell in a Cell in Dallas. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that. I remember
yeah,
watching
like Shane McMahon jumped off the top of the cage and jumped on top of Undertaker. It was pretty wild. I forgot about that match. Yeah, it was pretty.
Now,
pretty
Did
crazy.
you wear that shirt to the Wrestling Wednesday event?
I did not. No,
Okay.
I went
Aw.
undercover. But the next time I go, I'll have it on. I know
All right.
they'll appreciate this.
Now, why did you go undercover?
Well, I didn't realize they were gonna have Wrestling Wednesday, so I didn't want to just wear my
Okay,
shirt.
okay.
I didn't know it was wrestling here for some fine stout beers, and that was just a little extra special gift that I was given.
Has Eowyn agreed to go to Wrestling Wednesday again?
I believe she would, yes.
Okay.
If they have those same stouts, she'll go anytime because it was
Okay.
they were
all right.
really good.
Enough
yes.
liquors involved. She'll be there.
You got it.
But
Correct.
see, but you don't need a woman to like wrestling. My wife, and I've tried, been covering
Oh, yeah.
this for 11 years now, and she'll watch once in a very blue moon. Like the other night, we were watching SmackDown, got the kids in bed, we watched it on delay. We were eating Chinese, and I'm like, I want to watch the opening segments. I knew it was going to be with Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. And she's like, do we have to? And I'm like, I would like to, yeah, 'cause I don't know when I'm going to get to the TV to watch this. And it was 36 minutes of riveting television. And she was like, that was great. But that's like a once in like a very blue moon situation. More often than not, it's, why are we? She's like, I know we got to watch this. I'm going to play on my phone. That's the more liberal answer I always get. Or she goes and finds something else to do. So it's not a deal breaker.
No, I would agree with that. And the key is just knowing some of the wrestlers and all that to have the conversation like that. Certainly, first dates, I've been through that before. You kind of talk a little bit about that. And if somebody says they look at you like you have 15 heads, you're like, yeah, this is probably going to work. So
Yeah.
it's all right.
I agree.
Well, Steve, let's transition here as we talk about the current state of wrestling. Can you talk to me a little about your thoughts about the WWE crown jewel that's in Saudi Arabia? What can you tell us about that? What's your thoughts on that?
You know what? That was a great show. I hate saying that because my skin crawls when I think of Saudi Arabia. And this isn't no offense to anyone in Saudi Arabia, but just the political climate there just makes my skin crawl. And we all know why they go. It's all it is a money grab, but I get it, and it's deplorable. It's like Vince McMahon needs more money. I think I think that's fair to say. But beyond the political aspect of it, it was a great show, top to bottom. Yeah, we could have done without. And actually, you know what? To me, everything served a purpose. I even liked Mansoor and Ali, but the show was great. I thought. Even, people criticize that ending to Lesnar and Reigns. Was I the biggest fan of it? Not really. But I got why they went there because I know what the final, I have a feeling of what the final destination is likely to be. So right now, I'm okay with it. And especially what we saw on SmackDown on Friday, it made sense. Top to bottom, I think the best show of the year for WWE. It really was.
Wow.
Sure. A little behind the scenes WWE. Apparently, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch aren't going to exchange Christmas cards this year. Is that what I hear?
Not anymore. Oh my
Okay.
God. I woke up to this Saturday morning. I did like I said, we were talking this a few minutes ago. I watched just that opening thing with Brock and Roman and Paul and Adam Pearce, and I didn't think about SmackDown the rest of the night. And I woke up Saturday, and I'm being asked what the hell happened. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So they're like, hey, watch the final segment, see what happens. What you think? I'm like, all right. So I watched, and I'm like, okay. Then I read the reports and like, okay. And then I reached out, and there's a lot of nuclear heat from what I've been told on Charlotte Flair for what happened on SmackDown. She tried to say it was an accident. Guys, come on. The three of us are pretty highly intelligent people. That was no accident. And it wasn't an accident. And the look on her face said it all right there. And she was escorted out of the building to avoid more of a confrontation with Becky, because Becky was going to be in a dark match with Bianca Belair, and she's upset a lot of feathers. And this has gone on for a while, just with the situation with her, a while back with her and Nia Jax and the shoot, basically the quasi shoot match they ended up having on Raw a while back. And people saying she's getting a big head. I've heard the same thing. I know she's been unhappy with creative, but I know a lot of people there that are unhappy with creative.
That's kind of like saying the sky is blue, isn't it?
Right behind you. Right behind you. But no, she was unhappy. It came to a head at SmackDown. She was unhappy with what happened on Raw in the match of Bianca Belair. She's like, why are we going 21 minutes and we're going to have this great match, and then we're going to have a sloppy and stupid disqualification? It makes zero sense.
Yeah,
Bianca should have won the belt, and people say she's full of crap. But I talked to people in WWE this morning, and that's what she was pushing for. She wanted that belt to be changed, and she's like, that makes the most sense. I'm over. We need to get her more over.
okay.
She's been very unhappy with creative, and it came to a head on Friday. And I think she's right. I wouldn't have handled it the way she did. I thought how she handled it was, I get her reasoning of this makes no sense because it made no sense. Vince McMahon put those two in that position. And that's the thing no one's talking about here, guys, is the fact that this could have all been avoided if Bianca Belair won the title on Raw, Sasha Banks won the title at Crown Jewel. If we all know that, I don't know how a guy who's worth like $4 billion doesn't understand this. That quite boggles my mind. But they put themselves in this situation. They're the ones that caused this to happen. I blame neither lady here. I blame the guy that signs the paychecks, because that's the guy that deserves the blame at the end of the day.
Sure. All right. So Dark Side of the Ring. I got a quick story about that, and then we'll get to our wrestling rewind. So this past week's Dark Side of the Ring, Ken, I don't know if you saw this, was about XPW and Rob Black. For those who don't know, Rob Black was he made adult films. We'll go with that. And then he tried his hand in the wrestling business. He was going to work
hand in hand.
Yeah, sure. He was going to work with Paul Heyman, and then that fell apart. And so they became bitter enemies. And he's doing his wrestling, and he had some of his actresses involved in the wrestling. And this show is on Vice, and they pretty much I think there's only one word that they bleep out. And this was a pretty colorful and vivid episode, you might say. So we were talking a little bit earlier about, what your fiance thought of Wrestling Wednesday. So last night, as we were sitting there watching television, my wife came in to sit down and watch some TV. And I said, before we get to the show we're going to watch, I want you to just give me the first segment of this Dark Side of the Ring show. And I did this purely for my entertainment. And I pretty much looked at her the whole time. And the look of disdain, horror, disgust, and shock all rolled into one was priceless. I actually took a picture that my wife doesn't want me to share of the look on her face, but it was, I just, just a little guy humor there. So,
Oh yeah.
that was, yeah.
What did she say to you? Or she just gave you like that look of death?
The look, she was just like, okay, we're done with this segment. Now let's move on. Let's
Move along.
Can you put on, let's put on Pawn Stars now. Can we put on Pawn Stars? That's what she said.
I have not watched the episode. Is it worth going out of your way for? Because I haven't watched it yet.
It's surprising, some of the things that went on. So it's interesting. I watched it. I mean, I didn't know anything about XPW other than I knew the letters and I knew who Rob Black was, but I didn't know all the ins and outs. I didn't know he went to prison or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's worth, I had no problem investing 60 minutes of time in it. So yeah, I'd say it was a good episode.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'll have to. So what you're saying is I should watch that over the season premiere of Monday Night Raw tonight. Is what you're trying to tell me, Ted.
Yes, I'll go with yes. Yep. Yeah, I'd say so.
Because after today, I'm off.
More entertained. Maybe not in the same way, but I think you'd be more entertained by the dark side of the ring than the Monday night offering. We'll go with that. Now,
I'll text you.
all right. I'll be interested to hear what you have to say. And if you pull the same stunt that I did with my wife, if you have your wife watch it just to get the look on her face, see how that goes. Let me know what happens with that. That'll be.
She won't be home. She won't be home tonight, so I will.
Okay.
I'm
Then
gonna
maybe
watch
this
it
is
alone.
the best. This might be the best night to watch the show.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right. It's time for our wrestling rewind, where we try to highlight a glorious event in wrestling's past. We're going to go to October of 1998, Steve, a Halloween Havoc pay-per-view that featured two guys on Ken's shirt, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, in what has been described many times as one of, if not the worst pay-per-view main event of all time.
I hate you.
This was the rematch from WrestleMania 6. They were actually the second to last match, and they went on too long. And as a result, WCW's show ran past 11 o'clock, and the pay-per-view got cut off on many systems, forcing WCW to have to offer refunds to those who didn't see the Goldberg DDP match finish. As far as the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior bout goes, I have some quotes here that I found. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer awarded a minimum score of -5 stars. That is the lowest ever score for a WCW contest, and the readers of his publication voted it worst match of the year. Gene Okerlund, Mean Gene, he used one word. He said it was a disaster. Hulk Hogan felt it was ruined. He takes credit for this. He botched a spot he devised himself. He was supposed to burn the Ultimate Warrior. I guess at this point we should say Warrior because he wasn't allowed to say Ultimate. So Hogan was supposed to burn the Warrior. And instead, he lit the flash paper in his own face and singed his mustache. That right there summarize the entire bout. And so if you are looking for some bad wrestling, this is got to be close to the top of the list, right, Steve?
Head hurts.
Ken, are you okay?
My head hurts. You hurt my. You know what? I had seen this morning. I was scrolling Facebook when I was eating breakfast and seen someone had up about the 1993 Halloween Havoc, which was headlined by Big Van Vader and Cactus Jack. I'm like, man, you know what? I'm gonna go on a binge this week, and I'm just gonna watch the Halloween Havoc shows. And
Yeah, you might want to skip 1998.
But you know what, Ted? Now I don't think I'm going to do that. Thanks a lot. Because I watched that match. God, it had to be about 2-3 years ago. I was watching with a buddy of mine that just became a wrestling fan, but he came back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is he still a wrestling fan after you watch that?
He still is, yeah. So I turned it on. I'm like, because he was a big, like back in the day, he was a big Hogan and Warrior fan. So I'm like, all right. I'm like, did you ever see their rematch in WCW? He's like, no. I'm like, all right, we're gonna watch the pay-per-view. He's thinking because the pay-per-view was great up until that point. The pay-per-view was solid. It was a pretty good show. And we got to that match, and I'm just like, you're gonna need another beer. And he's like, why? I'm like, just take it. Just take it. I'll have one with you.
Yeah.
He drank a couple more. He stayed the night at my house. He's like, this was one of the worst things I've ever seen. It was the worst Hulk Hogan match I've ever seen.
Yes.
And by far it is the worst big time main event match that I've ever seen. It was just deplorable.
Ken, have you ever seen this match?
I have seen that match.
Okay.
And I would agree that it is not the best work from either wrestler. We'll leave it at that.
You could have come up with something like more positive. My apologies.
Why do we need?
Why couldn't we? I want positivity, and you just come out with like all that negativity. You're talking about
Wrestling Wednesday. We talked about adult films and XPW. I think that this.
I mean,
way to end it, don't you?
Well, no, we were going happy.
Sure.
It seems like we're gonna have a joyous old time. And
some people might argue that XPW and adult films is happy, but maybe
he seemed happy.
Yeah,
he seemed happy. Yeah.
Hey, Steve, if people want to follow you on the Zone, give us the website and your Twitter so they can keep up with what's going on.
Go to thezone.com/en/news. A lot of cool stuff coming up this week. I got it's a big fight week, so a lot of UFC stuff I will have. Big UFC pay-per-view, so I'll have something with the light heavyweight champion, Jan Blachowicz, as I just talked to him about 2 hours ago. So I have something on that on Thursday, and also a guy part of the co-main event fighting for the interim bantamweight title. And I'm also on Instagram. I'm getting more followers on the Instagram and the Twitter, so we're getting there. We're doing slow, but I am always going to come on, and I'm having a good time here. Even though I'm working, this isn't work.
All right. Well, I hope your work goes better than Halloween Havoc '98. We'll make that a point of emphasis there. But Steve, thanks for getting in the ring with us.
Man, I was so happy until you brought that up again. So thank you guys. It's always good to chat with you guys.
The most trusted name in journalism, Klopp's Clips.
Kenny, you ready for the news?
I cannot wait. I've been waiting 2 weeks for this.
Okay. Well, we're going to start here in Ohio. State of Ohio unveiled its new license plate design last week, featuring beams of sunlight and a banner that reads "Birthplace of Aviation," attached to a picture of the original Wright brothers aircraft. One problem with the license plate, though, the banner is trailing and connected to the front of the plane instead of the back. Either that or the plane's flying backwards. I suppose that could be it. I don't know. State officials released a statement noting that they were aware of the problem and it'd be corrected before the plates are available in late December. You have some thoughts on this? I have some thoughts.
I have more information for you. Do you know how many license plates they released and printed with this situation with the flying backwards plane?
Please.
35,000.
Oh my gosh.
They printed 35,000 of these things before they realized that it was messed up. Who's paying for that? Is that us?
Yeah. Well, who else is going to pay for it?
That's bad.
Here's what I want to know. They knew about this before they held the press conference.
Yep.
Why don't you fix the logo and before you have the press conference? How about that?
Nope. Got to be honest and open, I guess.
Good Lord.
Well, they want to look like idiots.
Well, they've succeeded there. All right, another plane problem. This one in the UK. A man and his garden, they were splattered with human waste.
Oh,
from the plane.
Oh my God.
Yeah, plane toilets normally store sewage in special tanks that are emptied when the plane is on the ground. Not this time, though. This incident was described as the man's whole garden umbrellas and him all covered.
Oh man, not good.
It's being called 1 in a billion chance, and the warm weather may have caused the excrement to come out as a more fluidy item.
Not a good
Fluidy
situation.
Could be the next. You know how the word moist makes some people uncomfortable?
Yes.
I think fluidy might be right.
Fluidity
there.
might do the same. Cringeworthy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, a city in New Zealand is trimming its payroll, Ken. City Council in Christchurch is apparently not concerned about a hex and is no longer going to pay Ian Brackenbury Chanel about 10 grand a year to be the city's official wizard.
Oh, the official wizard.
He's out.
Oh my.
He's been in charge of magic and such since 1998 and has made more than $250,000 to
Wow.
provide acts of wizardry and other wizard-like services. The wizard, the name on his driver's license is Wizard. He responded saying city council has no imagination and projects an image of bureaucrats drinking lattes on the boulevard.
And
What I
your
wanna
job,
know-
sir? What do you do? I'm a wizard.
Yeah. Now, if he really is a wizard, how come he didn't see this on the horizon? How come he
Great
didn't
question.
know this was coming?
Well, he's probably not very good in a job. They're going to find a better wizard.
I guess so.
Mr. Wizard.
I'm not sure he's available.
You never know.
Yeah. A woman who applied for a job at KFC was told she didn't have enough experience, even though she worked at KFC for 2 years previously. No word. No word on
boy.
what position she applied for, but the rejection letter received is unique as well. It reads, quote, "Thank you for your application to Team KFC. We're clucking delighted you're keen to join our flock. However, at this moment in time, your skills aren't the secret recipe the Colonel's looking for. We'd love to hear from you again when you have some more experience under your wing. So please give us a cluck if you'd like to apply in the future. Best wishes."
Best wishes.
Best wishes.
2 years experience. That's not enough. I wonder what
No.
she applied for. I'm
I
interested
don't know.
in that. I mean, certainly at this time, they got to be looking for workers. I mean, somebody's got 2 years experience in your company. I think you bring them in unless there's other unforeseen circumstances that we don't know about. But
Yeah.
that's clucking delighted.
Yeah. That made me cluck all over.
You know, it should have said at the end, breast wishes.
Oh boy, here we go. Okay, people say my
Chicken.
jokes. A funeral procession, the one for Brenda Morris, got quite a few double takes. One of her wishes was to have Star Wars characters in her service. So her funeral procession was led by Darth Vader. He was
Okay.
flanked by some stormtroopers who led the way for the hearse. Princess Leia was also on hand for this particular ceremony.
I understand this, okay? You know, people like to do different things for their funeral, obviously to make it memorable. So the question is, so who do you call to get Darth Vader, the stormtroopers, and Princess Leia? Or do you ask people who are part of the family or friends to dress up that way? Is that what you do?
I actually did a little research on this.
Oh, I knew you
that
did.
Darth Vader was played by the funeral director.
Oh my. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's other duties as a son.
That's making sure that the client is happy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Hats off to that person. That's cool.
Well, a Danish museum wants the money it paid to an artist returned. Jens Hanning was commissioned by the Kunsten Museum to reproduce 2 of his works of art, representing the annual salary in Denmark and Austria. Instead, Hawning produced 2 blank canvases that he titled Take the Money and Run.
Brilliant.
The museum says they have a contract saying the money's going to be returned. Hawning says he has terrible working conditions and has no intention of returning the cash because the museum wasn't paying him fairly.
I'll get you back.
Yeah.
Blank canvas, whatever
Take
you
the
want
money
it to
and
be.
run. Yeah.
That's great.
I'm going to give my wife a blank piece of paper tonight and ask her what she thinks of my artwork. Staying with artwork now, the city of Cardiff in England, they commissioned 3 young artists to brighten up part of the city with some vibrant outdoor work that took the artists about 5 16-hour days.
Wow.
Unfortunately, a miscommunication with the city cleaning crew,
Oh, no.
the murals being completely washed away.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That's so bad.
The artists say they are absolutely gutted. The city says it is working with the creative director of the project to rectify the situation as quickly as possible. I can tell you how long it's going to take to fix that. You know how long it's going to take?
5 16-hour days.
There you go.
Oh, boy.
Oh, well, there you go. Let's we'll see. Make sure we clean up only the things we need to, including this week's collection of Klopp's clips.
Oh no, not a dad joke.
Why did the Scarecrow get an award?
Scarecrow get an award. Well, it's Halloween. This is a good one. I don't know why.
Because he was outstanding in his field.
That joke was horrible.
Dad, time for the Overachievers. One of your favorite segments.
Yes.
We start with a 24. Let's try that again. A 24-year-old woman in Turkey is now the tallest living woman.
I can't wait for you to do this name. This will be like
Mesa Gaigi.
Is that like one of the names you did at the Ashland homecoming?
Yeah, and I said it kind of like that too, nice and slow, and hoping that it's correct.
Yeah.
Stands 7 feet, 0.7 inches tall. I repeat, 7 feet, 0.7 inches tall.
That's a tall lady.
Very tall. The previous Guinness World Record holder was a Chinese woman who stood 7 feet, 7 inches tall. So I'm confused. This lady's shorter than the other lady.
Tallest
7 feet.
living woman.
Oh, so this lady, the other lady's dead?
Well, if you read the next sentence, Ken.
Well, there it is. Okay. She passed away in 2012, 7 years ago. Guinness recognized Gelgi as the tallest living female teen. Well, I guess that changes. So when you pass, you're no longer the tallest.
You're no longer the tallest living female. Yes. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well,
7 foot tall.
We'll get some charts and graphs for you for this next.
Well, I'll take my shoes and socks off next time too.
Yes. Okay.
Do you have any other overachievers that we can hear?
I do. Yes. As a matter of fact, I'll try to save the segment with Grammy Award winner Tony Bennett. He set a Guinness World Record for being the oldest person to release an album of new material. The album, A Love for Sale, is a collaboration with Lady Gaga and was released on October 1st when Tony Bennett was 95 years and 60 days old.
Wow.
Now, this is not the first record that he's set in his 70-year career.
That's insane.
70-year career.
That's insane.
He has 4 other records. Oldest person to reach #1 on the U.S. album chart with a newly recorded album for Cheek to Cheek. Longest time
What's
between
your favorite song, Cheek to Cheek.
That's it. Yes. That's yes. Longest time between UK top 20 albums, 39 years. I guess that's, a comeback. Oldest person to enter the UK top 20 album chart with duets, an American classic. He was 80 at the time of that particular award. And then longest time between the release of an original recording and a re-recording of the same single by the same artist. So Tony Bennett gets our second overachiever. So we have the tall lady from Turkey, whose name I won't pronounce. We'll stick with what you said, Ken. And then we have Tony Bennett, the other member of our overachievers. Ken, we're wrapping up episode number 75.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. Got some interesting conversation with Steve Mulhaus from DAZN about, a lot of different things. Thank you for, my eyes aren't bleeding anymore. You've changed your shirt since that segment. Yeah. And that's quite the shirt you have there.
Yeah, I wanted to save your retinas. Yeah, I this is one that you just, you have a couple shirts. Like I have one in my closet that my dad wore on his honeymoon. So I keep that one. And then this shirt is second. I mean, this is never going away. So Riley and Maddie, this is what we passed down to you.
Wow.
So,
boy,
nice wrestling shirt from China. There it is.
What did Aowen think of when you put that shirt on? Is she going to be?
He loves it. Well, I'll give you this information. My brother reached out to her and said, "Do you think Ken would like this?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, yes, he'll love it."
Okay.
She was involved with this as well.
Okay. All right. Well, that's unique, and maybe we'll have to. We should go to Wrestling Wednesdays together sometime.
We will have to do that. It is definitely worth it. You would get a kick out of it. Nice people, very easy to get to place. It's crowded, but not overly crowded. It really, really is nice. So hats off to Iggy's. It's pretty cool.
All right. Well, coming up on next week's show, New Zealand fired the Wizard, so we don't know what's coming.
Yeah, that was out. Yeah, unfortunately, that was one of our next contestants for The Price is Right. But I imagine we'll come up with some special ideas, special people. If not, it could be 30 minutes of you and I just naming old wrestlers. What a show that would be.
Yes.
Leaping Lenny Poffo.
Well, this
Hillbilly Jim.
Yeah, this could be almost as good as when Chris Jericho, he was feuding with Dean Malenko, who at the time was the man of 1,000 holds.
Yes.
Chris Jericho went to the ring saying he was the man of 1,001 holds, and he proceeded to start reading the names of the holds. They went to a commercial, and he came back. He was still in the ring reading the names of the hold.
That's
arm
hilarious.
Drag, headlock, body slam.
That's my type of comedy. I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's good stuff.
So.
That's good
All
stuff.
right.
Big week for you. Anything exciting going on with the Klopp household, with the children? Anything? Well, you got Halloween, so we got to bring this up. What are the costumes this year? What do we got?
Well, I believe we're going to have an astronaut and 2 football players.
Oh, that's the kids. Okay, I wasn't sure what you were talking about.
Yeah, the kids. I'm talking about the kids now.
Okay,
I don't know. I don't know if we'll dress up. We've done that in the past. I think I'll go as a middle-aged man. How about you?
Oral Hershiser would be my guess.
Oh, I could do that.
That's a good idea. I don't see I will not see the kids for Halloween. We do the split thing with their mother, so they're going to be with them. I think this year it's a weird costume situation. So my son could be a dinosaur, and he's like at the last year of doing Halloween. He's in 8th grade. I don't know. You didn't go as a freshman to Halloween and trick or treat, did you? I didn't.
I don't remember. I don't think so, but I don't remember. I don't remember what year we.
Yeah. And then my daughter was going to be a pop star, but now we watch Willy Wonka and she wants to be an Oompa Loompa. So there we go. Love it.
How are you going to pull that one off? I guess it's a good thing that their mother is in charge of that, huh?
Yeah, it's we watched the movie. It was a night of just her and I, and my son had cross country practice and all that kind of stuff. And so 2 of us watched the movie, and she's like, wow, that's cool. Maybe I could be that for Halloween. So yeah. So unfortunately, I think her mom's gonna have to pay some money for some stuff. So I've got another
for you.
The classic Willy Wonka.
Okay.
You get nothing. Good day, sir.
That's it. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, speaking of nothing, Ken,
Yes.
I don't know if I'll do much between now and 2 weeks from now, but I guess we'll see.
A lot of nothing, just like the box I'm going to give you for Christmas. Nothing. And of course, I just want to remind everybody, have a great Halloween. And don't forget, we're just two middle-aged men in Cleveland.
Two Middle-Aged Men in Cleveland is sponsored by Anchor.fm. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And by Westminster AV. Custom audio-visual packages for all occasions.